Hi everyone, and welcome to the IPP Financial Advisors channel. Today we're diving into the world of cross-border financial advice with someone who truly lives and breathes it. So I'm joined today by Ian Pryor, the Advisory Group Partner at EAG, the Expat Advisory Group here at IPP Financial Advisors.
Hi everyone, I'm Ian. I'm the head of the Expat Advisory Group at IPP Financial Advisors. Originally from England, I came to Singapore in 2006, so it'll be 20 years next year, and joined IPP in 2008. Out of the office, I don't always wear a suit, a shirt and tie. I love sport. To be honest, I prefer watching it on the TV, but I do participate as well. Actually, I really like endurance sports and challenges, running, cycling, mountain climbing, anything that's challenging, anything that's tough, I love it.
In this conversation, we'll explore what sets the EAG team apart and what it takes to really thrive as an expat professional and a trusted advisor here in Singapore. Okay, without further ado, let's dive right into it today. Hi Ian.
Hey Adrian.
Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
So, can we start by having you say a bit about yourself, and how you came here to be at IPP Financial Advisor?
Sure. I'm originally a British citizen. I grew up in London, went to school in London, worked in London, and I was actually a stockbroker.
Oh.
This is back in 2006. I then got the opportunity to come to Singapore with a different financial advisory. It was a very easy decision to make, to be honest. And in 2006, I came here. It was quite a long journey, obviously, not just the flight, but the journey itself in Singapore. I'm now a Singapore PR, so I very much see this as my long-term home. But in between that, we obviously had the great financial crisis. We had various different economic events. We had COVID-19, and of course now Donald Trump 2.0. So I've been through the ups and downs of the markets. I believe this gives me great experience that I can relay to my clients and actually help them plan and navigate future hurdles. Personally, I've also been flat broke. I'm not afraid to say it. I had to borrow money to pay rent when I was younger. I'm now financially independent. I've been divorced, remarried very happily, and I've also owned businesses and helped found startups. So I have a very wide range of experience and background that I think gives me, the ability to really understand clients in different situations and try to help them with their financial planning.
So speaking of clients, what's the client profile of someone that would work with you at EAG?
So originally EAG is the Expat Advisory Group. So when I first came to IPP, which was actually in 2008, so 2 years later, the company I was with withdrew from Singapore. I looked around the market and IPP was the best place to be. However, IPP had a purely Singaporean local proposition. They had no expertise with global expatriates. Of course, I did. I am an expatriate myself. So really the clients that originally came to me for help and my team were fellow expatriates. Okay? Not necessarily from Britain, but from anywhere other than Singapore, basically. So I guess people that have to think about multiple currencies, not just the Singapore dollar. People that won't retire here, but may even live and work in a number of different countries along the years. So things like global portability, these are always very, very important financial planning considerations. And IPP just didn't have that expertise, which is where I came in. So that's how I ended up here, and that's how together we created the Expat Advisory Group to specifically advise not just expats, but also Singaporeans looking at different countries for retirement, or perhaps countries where they invest in property or different assets overseas, or even something like their children go and study, in Australia, in the US, in the UK. And suddenly a more international mindset is necessary for their financial planning considerations.
So how does being an expat yourself shape the way you interact with your clients?
Yeah, I mean, it's who I am and who they are. I think the thing with expats is it's not just I'm an expat, he or she is an expat. We all have very, very different stories. I shared with you my story, the ups and the downs, and the different changes along the way. And this is very common. People do work in not just 1 or 2 countries these days. Many people work in 5 or 6. They travel around, they have family. I have, a set of clients who is from one country, their spouse is from a different country. They have 2 children, each born in 2 other countries, and now they live in Singapore. So it really is, a big world. And again, that's very much about who my clients are and who I am, rather than just defining people under the word expatriate all over. So it's a very different, ever-changing life.